Rafinha.
Yeah, he just hooks him there, doesn't he? Tries to stop the flow so they can't counter Real Madrid. That's a foul in anyone's book, that one.
TNT Sports, the home of the Adobe Women's FA Cup, with 4 live matches from round 4 coming next week, including an all-women's Super League clash between Arsenal and Aston Villa. Well, a brilliant weekend in the men's competition, and I was very fortunate to be at Macclesfield for that incredible victory. Maybe the greatest shot we've ever seen in the FA Cup.
Well, the fact that it was the holders as well, you know, you couldn't write it, could you? Let's be fair. It was a fabulous... well, that's what the FA Cup... We all say it's what the FA Cup's all about.
The draw tomorrow, be really interested to see who Macclesfield get in the 4th round.
It's difficult, really, isn't it? Do they want to be at home again and have the glory at home, or do they want a big tie, you know, away at Arsenal or something like that?
Koundé. Carreras. Camavinga. Howson. It's 5 wins in a row for Real Madrid. Who've scored 14 goals in the process. I don't think people are still entirely convinced performance-wise, though. That's still being questioned. But whatever Xabi Alonso is able to post victories, it will keep maybe the critics at bay. But this is such a big game for him, you feel, in terms of his future with the club. As I said earlier, everyone will have their opinion on whether that's fair or not, but I think that is the reality, that there's more pressure on him, as you said earlier, Glenn, than there is on his opposite number, Hansi Flick, considerably more.
Yeah, and I think his team will be judged more when they play against Barcelona. How close are they to Barcelona? I think if they can set the ball up in this game, particularly in that middle third, at the moment they've had to defend in numbers and get really deep. Hang on, something's happening here. It's going to get fractious. It always does with these two teams.
Well, it certainly did right at the end of the league game, which Real Madrid won back in October. Lunin and Pedri were both sent off in that game. That's what they're unhappy about. Carreras with the challenge on Lamine Yamal. It was very, very late indeed. A bit naughty, that.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing, left a little bit on him, and not good at all, really. But he might have got away with that one. I don't know if he's going to get booked for that, but that's the sort of thing that the dark arts, that in the modern game it's very difficult to do that. Years gone by, on my word, that was done to a penny for a long period of games.
Probably on the end of a few.
I was on the end of a few. I had to dish out a few as well. At the end of the day, I learned the hard way that sometimes you had to meet fire with fire. But no, I think he's got away with that one. But it's nothing too malicious. But he knew what he was doing. I think they're frustrated, Real Madrid. They can't get the ball. They can't keep the ball when they've won it. But they have got a chance if they can set it up right. You can break this Barcelona defence down from 20 yards. If you're getting balls just in behind that sort of position, and you can slide balls from 20 yards, you can get in quite easily. This is where it's all gone off.
It all got a little bit fractious in the Madrid derby in the semi-final between Simeone and Vinicius Junior. Simeone just basically trying to wind him up, and succeeded, and there was a little bit of a very brief melee as Vinicius came off.
Simeone involved in something like that, Adam?
Who'd have thought it?
Who'd have thought that? That's unusual.
Xabi Alonso really did call it out, though. Afterwards said that he'd crossed a line, Simeone, and his goading of Vinicius. Garcia chasing this, but across came Kubasi.
a little period of time where the referee's got to really try and stamp some authority here. This could go a little bit here. There's a little handball in there, but accidental. But I think the referee, there's just this 25 minutes nearly, can just, it's simmering a little bit. I think there's a frustration about Real Madrid. Their players, they're trying to close, look, finding it very hard to win the ball back, and they're frustrated when they haven't had enough of the ball themselves. And he's got to really keep his eye out in the next 5-10 minutes, make sure that this doesn't explode.
Lewandowski, Lamine Yamal, taken off him by Carreras, who's had a pretty solid start to the game. Gonzalo Garcia. Eric Garcia, the former Manchester City player. Frenkie de Jong. Lewandowski's on his way through the middle. Shorter ball to Rafinha. Pedri. Koundé. Fermin Lopez to Kubasi. Pedri. Alejandro Balde. Koundé. Patient in possession here, Barcelona. Eric Garcia to Pedri. Can he unlock the door? Koundé. Lamine Yamal. Koundé. Lamine Yamal. This is promising. And Lewandowski was waiting. It comes here to Balde. And this is Rafinha. Rather straight out. Thibaut Courtois didn't have to move much, did he? The Real Madrid goalkeeper.
Wonderful football from Barcelona. Patient build-up, short passing, keeping it across the back. Very much like it's like watching Manchester City. It's so similar. It really is. And then suddenly they inject a bit of pace, play a risk ball, and they're in behind.
Koundé. Such high concentration levels required from the defending team in these sort of situations against Barcelona.
Well, Barcelona and Man City, very similar, as I've just said there. And what they do is, by keeping this ball, it looks like they're not doing that much, but they're not. They're changing the angle of the ball. And every time the angle of the ball changes, defensively, you've got to adjust as well. And if you don't, you get caught out at some stage. And that's the reason why they keep that possession.
Bellingham, two good omens perhaps for Real Madrid. It's been 8 years since the reigning league champions went on to win the following Super Cup. And no team has lifted the trophy in back-to-back seasons for, would you believe this, 15 years. Guardiola was in charge of Barcelona when they won it 3 times between 2009 and 2011. But it's been a hard trophy to keep hold of, this one. Eric Garcia. Kubasi. Koundé. Frenkie de Jong found space and he's got options either side of him. A luxury of options, really. Lamine Yamal. Koundé's made a run. Lewandowski, Koundé, Lamine Yamal. De Jong, can they get some service into Lewandowski? Lamine Yamal again, it got away from him. Bellingham fouled. And a chance perhaps for Real Madrid, well, to catch their breath and get up the pitch.
Absolutely, yeah. Good mature play again from Bellingham there, really. He just drew the foul. Look, he knows he gets his body, gets his arm across and draws the foul. He had nowhere to go, he had no white shirt available. But again, really good play from the build-up from Barcelona for that chance there. It was wonderful. Courtois straight down his throat, doesn't even think about catching that one. The power of these balls nowadays, just gets his hands behind, punches it away. But Barcelona have been absolutely brilliant the way they've played at the moment. They're totally in control of this game. But I keep saying it, you can break down this Barcelona's defence with that high line. They take a risk.
Chance for the players to take on some water, and while they do that, I can tell you that we have more live FA Cup action coming up for you tomorrow night. We're at Anfield, Liverpool against Barnsley. Programme begins at 6:30. We have the FA Cup 4th round draw as part of that programme on TNT Sports 1. And as I say, I think a lot of people will be looking out for who the lowest ranked team in the competition, Macclesfield, get. Xabi Alonso getting messages across to his players here. If you were in his position, Glenn, what would you be saying in terms of what they could do better here, Real Madrid?
Well, I think they're finding it really hard to close. I think they've dropped in there. The minute they've done it once, where they've tried to press high and Barca just played straight through them, and that's a problem. I think they're doing the right thing in getting behind the ball. I think once they win the ball, they've got to make, whoever wins the ball has got to be brave on the ball, and they've got to receive the ball under a bit of pressure themselves to make 2 or 3 passes. That's what I'd be saying. If you make the 2 and 3 passes in that midfield area, then the likes of Vinicius and Rodrigo, they've got the pace to get in behind this defence, and then you can slide that ball in quite easily. I think that's the big Achilles heel for Barcelona. I don't know whether they'll go on and win the Champions League because of that reason eventually. They're a wonderful team, but I just think it's too easy to play against if you get what I call a set-up ball. If you can set that ball up and get that runner going, you can get in behind them quite easily.
We saw Rodrigo score from the sort of situation that you're describing there in the win over Atletico. The two precedents not too far apart.
Both on their phones.
Yeah.
Talk to each other, guys.
It didn't seem overly friendly, I have to say, when the two head coaches met yesterday at the stadium to do a round of photographs posing with the trophy. It was described in some of the press as a bit cold between Alonso and Flick.
You'd probably expect that. It's the day before a big final, you know. Maybe if you meet them in a month's time in a restaurant, they'll be having a nice beer and a nice chat about football. But yeah, building up to a final, you're not expecting them to sort of be best of mates.
Will we get to see Kylian Mbappe tonight? Just how fit is he as well? That's the big question mark. It had been reported initially before the competition that he was ruled out entirely, but flew out in the end on Friday. De Jong blocked the pass from Bellingham, header by Valverde. Rodrigo, and there's the one over the top for Garcia. Now can he find the finish? So it was tame, really tame. That's the opportunity that they've been hoping for.
That is exactly what we're talking about. That time they get in that little pocket and it's a headed ball over the top. It's just, unfortunately, Garcia. We're talking about Mbappe seconds before. Now that is where, you know, you miss your class, your world-class player. If Mbappe's got onto that ball, he was onside. I think it's 1-0 Real Madrid. No disrespect to Garcia, but it was a tame finish, wasn't it? But that's the opportunity for Real Madrid. They've got to take them. Vinicius has been in once. Now Garcia's got in, but you have to take them opportunities against them because it might be a long while until you get another one.
Lovely ball, Pedri, Lewandowski's in there, others too, and it was Fermin Lopez who got right underneath it. But that's how quickly they can hit you, Barcelona.
Well, Real Madrid tried to close them a little bit higher up the pitch, and that's what they can do. If they slide that ball in behind your midfield, wow, they're away quickly. And look, they're open spaces, and it's very unusual because Madrid have been sort of dropping in there and making it tough, but they can hit you on the counter, Barcelona, as well. Lopez just couldn't stay over the top of it.
It was just a real lack of conviction about the effort from Gonzalo Garcia, which was certainly not the case when he scored his first La Liga goals against Betis before this competition. Got a hat-trick. It was a perfect hat-trick. The second goal in particular was absolutely wonderful, but Just didn't look like he believed, did he, as he went through there?
I didn't fancy him, I've got to say, and I don't think he fancied it himself. As he was going through, he needed to take probably one more touch, a little bit closer, and then finish, but he didn't have that confidence.
That's a giveaway by Valverde, and now it's Lewandowski. Lamine Yamal with the first-time ball, and he's got him. Rafinha put it wide. Would you believe that? What a pass it was to pick him out from Lamine Yamal. And you fully expected the net to bulge.
Wow, what a top quality pass that is from Yamal. He's been quiet most of the game. He's been out on that left-hand side. He's got him a couple of times in behind, but what a pass. First-time ball. You can't play offside. It's difficult to play offside if somebody plays a pass first time. And Rafinha, my word, you won't get a better chance than that. He's hit it with the inside of his foot, when in some ways he's got to hit it with the outside of his left foot to bring it back in inside the post, but absolutely made an absolute pig's ear of it. Let's be fair. It's a wonderful pass though, great vision, and the weight of it was fantastic. Because it's left-footed as well, it had to be perfection, because if not, it runs through to the goalkeeper.
Here they come again, Rafinha again, Lewandowski to his right. Lamine Yamal's up there, he didn't need him! Makes amends almost immediately. Superb from Rafinha. How good he's been of late. And now on the score sheet in the Super Cup final. So soon after he'd missed such a gilt-edged chance as well. But it's Barcelona who lead.
My word, what a reaction after I've called him he's made a pig's ear of the first one, which he certainly did, but what the confidence he's got. He's come back again, he's gone through the legs of defender. It's a really cute finish. People might think that it was a little bit lucky, but no, he's waited for that. He knows that the right foot's got to come out to be blocked. Here they go, they've got open spaces, they've got a 3v2. He doesn't need anyone else, he just shifts the ball and he drags it up through the defender's legs. You watch it, just moves the ball to the left bank, there, through the legs into the bottom corner, no chance for Courtois. There you go. That is design by design, and after he missed the sitter, my word, that didn't matter. Top players, that doesn't matter to them mentally. He's not even thinking about that. He just says, here we go, I'll punish you this time. And Xabi Alonso's got all the problems to work out between now and half-time.
He was preaching calm there, wasn't it, Xabi Alonso? But as I said, Rafinha in blistering form. That's 7 goals in 7 games. Loves playing against Real Madrid as well. That's his 6th goal in 12 games against them. There was 3 assists in there as well. Got 2 goals and an assist in last season's Supercopa final too. But we have the deadlock broken. There's been such an energy about this game, almost from the word go.
It's been a terrific game, it really has, because Barca have been excellent. They've been absolutely different class as a football team. But Real Madrid have had 2 really good chances, and if they'd have taken them, you know, psychologically, and the confidence would have been completely different. Now they've got a job on their hands.
Lamine Yamal, they want a second quickly. And they won't get it like that, tidied up by Asensio. But 4 players there, Barcelona players, inside the Real Madrid box. Camavinga. Let's see how Real Madrid react here. Remember, they won the first Clásico of the season, 2-1 in October. And it was Barcelona who dominated this fixture last season with those 4 victories. Beat Madrid in 2 cup finals as well. Howson almost letting in Fermin Lopez.
The big difference between the 2 teams is when Real Madrid have got the ball, you can't see a system. You really can't see a system, whereas Barcelona, you know, they go into a 3 when they've got possession. Yamal stays out wide and hugs the line, and Rafinha drifts and goes floating. There's a system that they play to. Whereas Real at the moment just can't get the ball, and they haven't got any system. The only thing they've got is that ball over the top, as they've done twice already. And as I've said before, that you've got to punish Barcelona when you get in there.
Koundé. Frenkie de Jong. Eric Garcia. Barcelona comfortably the better team at the moment. Balde. I suppose we may well find out if it stays like this just how fit Mbappe is, because they look like they could do with him, don't they?
Very much so. I mean, you always want an Mbappe on the pitch, but if it's a knee problem, it is a risk. It really is. A knee like that, a twisted knee, is either correct or it's not. That's got to be 90% is not good enough for that. You might get away with a different type of injury, but it would be a risk.
Pedri. Balde. 9 wins in a row for Barcelona coming into this. The last defeat against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Lamine Yamal, Fermin Lopez! And Courtois was in the way, but again, they're patient, they push, they probe, they wait for their moment and then look to strike.
Scintillating, absolutely scintillating. It's great possession play, but it's when they go up the gears. Look, Yamal suddenly, quick feet, a little darting run from behind. Wow, and Courtois again at that near post. He's going to have to play well tonight. He's going to get worked, isn't he? Again, straight down his throat. But lovely football, really great football. That's the tempo you want to play at, is that slow, and then suddenly you burst into a sprint.
Inside the final 5 minutes of this first half. Out it came to Pedri. Calm ball by him to Lamine Yamal, who pulls it across, and Thibaut Courtois is called into action again. It's all Barcelona in the latter stages of this first half.
Yeah, everything's been at the goalkeeper, apart from the goal where Rafinha went through the legs. Every chance that they've had, it's actually been down his throat, and he's dealt with it. He's parried, what, 3 away now. And as I just said, he's going to be in for a lively night, you feel, Courtois.
Rafinha's ball over here. Has been pretty meek at times in this first half from Real Madrid. Not really showing any personality, are they?
They can't get out. They can't actually get out. It's really difficult for them. Not only have Barcelona dictated the play and be creative, but look how they've pressed. They've actually been organised so well that they're going to press, they're going to take a chance. They have that high line anyway, so the defenders are going to be right up on that halfway line, which allows the players in midfield and the strikers to actually press and take a chance. And they're finding it so hard to get out, Real Madrid.
De Jong. Balde. In terms of looking a cohesive team unit, I mean, the contrast is stark, isn't it?
It's chalk and cheese. The thing as well, when you're playing against Barcelona, they're enjoying themselves having this possession. That's a 50-50 one now. That was a really good time tackle there. Whether he just caught him Yamal for a slight second. Let's have a look here. Tries a little Cruyff there turn. Sort of wins the ball but brings the player down as well. But the problem is, this is the chance. There's one here. Look, he never really got it under control. Took it very early. Might have just taken that to his left foot away from the defender and then gone for power. But what I'm saying is, when you're playing against Barcelona, you get fatigued. You're chasing the ball so much. You don't feel as if, you don't lose energy when you keep the ball and you're playing, you're running when you've got possession. But when you're chasing players and having to get back, and mentally it takes it out of you, your fatigue levels, and they'll pick them off later in the game.
Lamine Yamal. Could they get another one before half-time here? Koundé up with Lamine Yamal. Pedri. Garcia. Cleared by House. Again, they just can't keep it. Xabi Alonso didn't have a great record against Barca as a player. Lost half of his 30 matches against them, only won 8. And his side behind here as we head towards half-time. Lamine Yamal moving through the gears, finding Robert Lewandowski, just taken away from him. And it will be a corner, but he's starting to look really good, Lamine Yamal, tonight.
I think since that pass, the pass that he put Rafinha in, I think he's come alive, hasn't he? He's gone up the gears, he's coming inside, and he's causing problems. What he does, when he comes inside like this, his head's up. He can play up, look, he's looked once, twice, he knows, look, he sees the picture. He's not even looking at the ball, and I think he played that for Lewandowski's left foot, so he goes in past the defender there, and Lewandowski was slightly unfortunate there.
Last minute of the first 45. And Xabi Alonso has got work to do at half-time. Pedri, but only the one goal in it. As big as the difference in quality has been between the two sides in this first half, we should remember Real Madrid probably could and probably should have taken the lead. Vinicius had a good chance as well.
When we talk about chances, you're asking for chances one-on-one for goalkeeper, and they've had the two chances they've created were over the top and they're away from defenders. They were one-on-one with the keeper, and they decided both times to shoot, but they're good chances, really good chances.
A minimum of 3 minutes added time at the end of this first half. De Jong. Rafinha. Pedri. Bellingham looked to take it off him. Howson played forwards. Bellingham. Garcia, that's better, but then it's given away. Seized upon by Eric Garcia. And this could be trouble for Real Madrid. Lewandowski wasn't really quite alive to that, and this is Gonzalo Garcia. Vinicius up against Koundé. It's to go on the outside of the French international. Could they craft something at the end of this first half? Good run by Vinicius Junior. Brilliant! Oh, what a goal! Fabulous individual goal from Vinicius Junior. Levels the score right at the end of this first half. But that was sheer quality from the Brazilian, who ends his long wait for a goal. And what a goal it was!
Fantastic. This game, it just gives you, doesn't it? Keeps giving this game. It's an amazing game. Real Madrid have had no pattern of play. They've just waited on individuals, that little ball that we're talking about over the top. But my word, when you get a player, he hasn't scored as well. It's not like he's in a great vein of form scoring goals. But my word, he's gone past the Koundé, the fullback, a couple of times now and used his pace. And that's what they've been waiting for. A 1v1, no protection. They're trying to get across Barcelona players there. But this is where he squares him up there. And he just nutmegs him and comes inside, keeps his head, shifted the ball. That's what gets the goal here. This is a lovely bit of play. He's looked at him and he's gone there, little nutmegs in the other side. That shifted the ball there just to make the angle to beat Garcia, the keeper. It's that there, it goes through the nutmegs, and it's a beautiful, beautiful bit of play. Absolutely wonderful play. And he just shifts it and he goes in that bottom corner. And my word, Barcelona have really, really a side that should have been 2 or 3 up, really, in many ways, the way they've played. But this Real Madrid side, they've got this capability.
16 games he'd gone without a goal. Backed by Xabi Alonso and several teammates ahead of this. Alonso said, look, he'll be back to his best soon and he'll be decisive. Well, he certainly was there. That is some goal. And it's game on again here. And you've just got to love these matches between these two clubs. You just can't take your eyes off it.
Well, we said it before the game. We were looking forward to it. We felt it was going to be an absolute stormer of a game. And my word, this first half just keeps giving us. I mean, it's wonderful football from Barcelona, but, you know, Real Madrid, they're always going to be a threat.
Pedri and Lewandowski's in! Oh, what a finish! Brilliant from Barcelona! And they go back in front almost immediately. And he, Robert Lewandowski, has made a career out of finishes like that. Exquisite from the Poland international.
Oh, what a goal. And what a response. What a response after Vinicius' individual goal. They're complaining about something. Maybe they're looking for offside. I felt he might be close to being offside here. But what a finish. I mean, a great ball as well. Pedri, look, there he is. He's onside. He's way onside. Beautiful finish. That's the template. If you said, Lewandowski, visualise a goal that he would score, this would be it. Time and time again, we've seen that sort of finish. It's his template. He just keeps his head. The touch is perfect there. And as he comes in, he knows exactly what he's doing. It's on the way up the ball. It's not a little stab because the ball's not on the deck. He's actually just got, look, it's up in the air there. Oh, it's a beautiful little technique. It really is, to keep your head inside the post. And my word, what a game we have got. Look at that. Look at the response. It's brilliant. That's what football can give you.
What a reaction from Flick's side, and what a player, what a career, what a finish. By his exceptionally high standards, he's not been scoring that regularly of late, only 1 goal in his last 6 games, but 42 in 52 appearances last season. Bellingham, what an end to this half. Bellingham and Garcia goes down, and it's going to be a corner. We're in the 6th minute of added time. There was only meant to be 3. This is brilliant. Just let it keep going.
Can we not stop? Can we just keep playing through? Don't have half time. I know it's hot out there, but just keep playing, lads, because this is brilliant.
Can't wait for the second half already. Garcia being watched closely. Rodrigo with the ball over. Howson with the header off the bar. Oh, and it's in. It's remarkable. It's Gonzalo Garcia, and it's 2-2. Can you believe what we're seeing here? What a game! And we've still got a second half to go yet.
Oh, this is remarkable. They're complaining about something, I don't know, but I thought it was a goal 3 times. I thought, I'm up thinking they've equalised again, and then it's hit the bar. Oh, my word. What a finish. And, he'll be so pleased, Garcia, because he's had a great chance there, one-on-one with the keeper. Let's have a look. It's a really good ball in. They win the first contact. That's the key. It hits the post, the bar. You think it's in, and it hits the bar, underside of the bar. It's Howson that makes that. Then he gets a little touch, Rafinha, just a slight touch, and then you think, oh, there's the chance gone. It's a brilliant. He's falling backwards. It's a brilliant finish from Garcia. It really is.
Rafinha did brilliantly to get something on that.
Just gets a little bit of a touch on there to save it. But as he's falling, he's under immense pressure. And there's the manager. He can't really see it properly from where he is, but my word, that's the reaction. It's exactly what he wanted. And he'll feel great, that young man, because he missed a great opportunity to equalise earlier on in the game.
These matches mean everything, and I think the scenes we've seen at the end of this first half really does underline that. The 2 head coaches just living on their nerves out there. Flick looks furious. Twice his side have led. Twice they've been pegged back. And we're in the 8th minute of added time at the end of the first half.
I think the referee actually is enjoying it as well.
I don't know where that's come from. Oh, finally, we get the half-time whistle. Well, we've had our money's worth in that first half. Wow, what a game this is. Fantastic contest. We've seen some fantastic finishes as well, not least from Robert Lewandowski. Rafinha's wasn't bad either, was it? Gonzalo Garcia with tremendous improvisation as he was falling to the ground, and some individual brilliance from Vinicius Junior as well. And this a game too that, well, you don't need me to tell you that it's got a whole lot more to give, I suspect, as well in the second half. Can't wait for it already. We'll look back at the best of the first half shortly, but at half-time in Jeddah, wow, chance to catch our breath. At half-time, Barcelona 2, Real Madrid 2.